Hello, everyone. My name is Farouk Abbas, and today I want to talk about five common mistakes parties make in child custody cases. And the reason why I want to talk about these five common mistakes is that I've handled several cases involving child custody, and I keep seeing parties make the same mistakes. And I believe that if you keep making these mistakes, it might hamper your chances in getting what you want in court. So, what is the purpose of a child custody case? The purpose of a child custody case is that either of the parties want custody of the children or they want reasonable access to the children. Therefore, if you make these mistakes, it might affect your goals. What is the first mistakes parties make? The first mistakes parties usually make in child custody cases is that a party who has temporary custody of the children refuses to communicate with the other party. And that party believes that because I have temporary custody, I can take all decisions regarding the child's education, regarding the child's welfare, regarding the kind of church the child goes to, regarding the kind of mosque the child goes to, regarding the child's religion, without consulting the other party. This is a very grave mistake. The mere fact that you have temporary custody of a child does not mean that you can neglect the other party. We have seen cases where a party who did this, the court ruled that they couldn't get custody because their conduct was against the interest of the children, and their conduct shows that they don't plan to carry the other party along. Therefore, in this sort of case, the court refused to grant that party custody. The second mistake that party usually make in child custody cases is a situation where a party refuses to communicate with the children because they are in the custody of the other party. Yes, a party might have temporary custody of your children, but don't feel like because that party is telling you when to call the children or when to visit the children, you now allow your ego to control you and you say, I won't call these children. If you claim you truly love your children, why would you refuse to communicate with your children for 2 years? If you refuse to communicate with your children for 2 years, don't you think this will show the court that you don't love the children and it will be in the best interest of the children to stay with you? Therefore, let's not allow hurt to control the way we take our actions. Yes, the other party might have hurt us, they might have betrayed us, they might have annoyed us, but let's not take this hurt on the children of the marriage. Put that aside and communicate with your children. If you communicate with your children, that will help your case before the court. The third mistakes parties usually make before the court in child custody cases is that they block the other party from having access to the children of the marriage. We see cases where a party has temporary custody of the children, and because you believe that you have temporary custody of the children, you refuse to allow the other party to have access to these children. When the party calls you, you say you've gone for a conference in Dubai, you say the children are sleeping, you say the internet is bad, and you say all give all forms of excuses. If this party is able to to provide this evidence before the court might rule against you because the court will see that it's not in your best interest. We've seen a case where the mother had custody of the three children, and for 2 years she didn't allow the father to see the children, and the court ruled that the father should get custody because it won't be in the best interest of the children to stay with their mothers. Therefore, let's embrace settlement and let's allow our parties to see the children, the other party to see the children. If you are worried that the party might abscond with the children, if you allow them to have access to the children, then take legal steps to prevent that from happening or bring your concern before the court and find a way to sidestep it. But don't take laws into your hands by preventing the other party from seeing the children. The fourth common mistake that parties usually make is that a party believes that because the other party has custody of the children, you now refuse to provide financial support to the children. You refuse to pay for their school fees. You refuse to pay for their welfare. If you do this to the children, it shows that you don't love your children. Because if you truly love your children, you wouldn't say because your wife has temporary custody, your estranged wife has temporary custody, you now use this as an excuse not to provide for their school fees and you overburden the other party to pay the school fees alone, to pay for their accommodation, to pay for their welfare. If you were a judge, how would you rule in that sort of case? So parties, I encourage you, don't make this mistake. Provide to the best of your abilities. And if you have any concern, you have any grievances, you have any challenges, bring them before the court. The court will always provide remedies to parties. So don't take the laws into your hands. The last mistake and the fifth mistake that parties usually make is that their lifestyle. You say you want custody of your child and you flaunt an immoral lifestyle all about. You are living a lifestyle that will not be in the best interest of the child. We've seen cases where the court held specifically that we are not going to give this other party custody of the children because of the court party's immoral lifestyle. Therefore, if your lifestyle is immoral, don't flaunt it. Don't go about showing it. Because if the other party can provide evidence of your immoral lifestyle, it might affect you in getting custody of those children or having full access to those children. And this point also relates to the issue of adopting the children and eloping with them to another country. If you do this, you will also affect your chances because the fact that you've eloped with your children to another country doesn't mean that you have won the case, doesn't mean you have permanent custody. that party can still prosecute a case against you, and it can go to your country where you have to get a judgment against you. We have a Nigerian case in Canada where a party took the children abroad, and the Canadian court ruled that she must return those children back to Nigeria. Therefore, I hope that we can all avoid these five common mistakes because, of course, they are gotten from my experience in handling similar cases. If we avoid these mistakes, there might not be any guarantee that you get what you want, but you are sure that it's going to prevent you from being derailed. It's going to encourage you. It's going to provide more support to you to achieve your goals in court. So I hope that parties can avoid these mistakes, regardless of whether or not they have temporary custody or they don't have custody, temporary custody of the children. Thank you very much.